Hey Spuddies, Potato Big Whiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Age of Wonders Planetfall in the Tyrannosaurus update. We're still working on a handful of quests here, so that's the main objective. I don't really have the units I need in the area. I also need to figure out how the hell I'm going to deal with these guys over here. Looks like our capital, sorry, this isn't our capital, looks like one of our colonies is under attack from some roaming AI units. So we're going to go ahead and auto-combat this. And it looks like we didn't quite get the outcome we wanted. We want to keep this guy alive because this is a unit that we actually built ourselves. So we're going to retry this battle and fight it on the actual battle map. So these 4 units here in the battle map are our 4 militia units who we can lose pretty happily and not worry about the outcome if they die. So we're going to position them in a relatively defensive formation. I'm going to have the sniper in this cover. I'm going to have this guy over here in this cover, and then I'll have the overseer in the front cover, and then this is the guy that we want to keep alive. We want this guy to survive. It doesn't matter if all the other units die, this is the guy we want to live at the end of the battle. Every unit is in defense mode, ready to defend, and they should begin to approach, and here they come. So we're going to want to focus fire down each of these units in turn. They are pretty tanky, so we'll need to be careful about how we approach this. What I might do is I'll set up a couple of these guys like this guy here in an overwatch position so that if any of them come forward, they will be sniped upon. This guy, on the other hand, I actually used the breach round, which allows them to bypass any armor the enemy has. These guys do have 2 armor, so they'll do 2 extra damage. And we'll go ahead and take a shot at these guys and pulse sniper them down. There we go. We did a 22 damage and we staggered them, which will mean they'll have a harder time actually getting close to us. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to open up with my indentured militia unit here and hopefully get 2 hits. Okay, we got all 3. I'm going to bring the Syndicate Overseer over to use the Cerebral Override ability, which will allow this indentured unit that just acted to act again. It will cause them some damage, but they get to act again and be able to take out these red guys pretty easily. There we go. The red guys are done with. Now these guys are in Overwatch, and I'm also going to Overwatch with these guys right here, so that if they try to approach into melee range, they'll take some free shots from me. I could also activate some tactical abilities like Arc Discharge, and I think I will do an Arc Discharge here just to stagger them. And I'll probably only do that once because that does take up some of my cash and I want to be careful about that. There we go, they're taking the Overwatch fire, so we killed another one of them without taking any damage, and the enemies are now further closer to me. Let's see if we can't focus down this flying guy. It's a 55% chance to hit, and we did manage to hit him and stagger him. We'll use this guy to finish them off. There we go, they are finished off. I'm going to use this indentured militia unit to Overwatch here, so if the green guy tries to approach, he will take damage, and I'm also going to bring my Overseer back to the center here to be ready to respond, and this guy can take a shot. It's only a 40% chance to do 8 damage 3 times, and we managed to hit 3 times, grazing twice, which is pretty good. We'll go ahead and let these guys act. They'll walk around the Overwatch, take a jump, and then take the Overwatch. Beautiful. So we ended that battle taking 0 casualties and essentially saving the unit that would have otherwise died if we had accepted the outcome. And the nice thing too is that this guy actually got a level up, which means that he has 4 more health, which means he's ever so slightly tankier. We also completed this mission here. Now the question is, do I want the Serpion or do I want to take the money? I'm a little bit light on cash at the moment, but I guess, you know, I'm going to go ahead and take the Serpion. That seems like a pretty reasonable move. And the Serpion will appear over by my capital. I have this army here, which is mostly made up of indentured as well as an overseer and an assassin. And I think we're going to send these guys over to try to deal with this quest here. I want to do as many of these quests as possible because each quest that you do is worth a certain amount of diplomatic points as well as diplomatic relations. I also need to be keeping an eye out. I don't see a whole lot of places that I could negotiate with and bring into the fold. There is one down here that I think I'm going to use this army here once they finish this livestock quest. Oh, I actually can't get in range to do this livestock quest in time, so that's a bit unfortunate. I'll have to send them down here to negotiate with this neutral settlement over here. In my capital, we've already built the reinforcement factory as well as the military engineering guild. That's going to give all of my units that I produce here plus 3 armor, which is quite a lot. We've also managed to annex another sector. I'm kind of tempted to get another production wing, because that would give me a ton of production, and that way I could de-emphasize production in here while still having a really strong production game. I would really like to get the diplomatic analysis wing as well, because that gives me +2 influence, but I also need to be building more armies to start clearing out more of the map, so I'm kind of at a loss here about exactly what I should do. Ideally, I would grab a place that would have energy income, but that's not really much of an option right now based on the current standing of the map. I don't see any good energy sector, so I might have to take like a subpar energy sector and kind of make do with it. Speaking of subpar energy sectors, my energy income is so weak right now that I think I am going to go ahead and build an energy exploitation here, because there's plenty of production exploitations that I can take advantage of in the area. So if I get my energy up and running a little bit earlier, it means I can sustain a much larger army. So we'll do an energy exploitation here, and then we'll build the economic building in here, and then we'll move on to start building up a bigger army. Over here in Melvor, we did just finish the research exploitation. Now we haven't fully researched the stuff to build the buildings in here, but that's not a big deal. We also need to clear this out, preferably with diplomatic points. We'll kind of encourage these guys to vacate so that we can get more cosmite, which is the sort of tech resource that we use to upgrade units. So with all that in mind, I think we'll pick up a recreation dome to give this place more happiness, because the more happiness you have, the faster you get happiness events. The faster you get happiness events, the faster you get nice little bonuses. We also completed the economist, which means we can plug this in as well. This makes basic buildings +10 additional income. That is the super basic building that you build, but more importantly, we got the energy reward. So I could save another Serpion, and this is pretty far away. I'm going to take the Serpion because it's not that far away, and we can send this over to join back with our army. Kind of have a bit of a... We have 2 Serpions now, and those are tier... what tier are they? They're tier 2 skirmisher units, so they might be very useful in another army, since we're also building up some core infantry over here as well. Looks like I did fail the quest, which is a bit unfortunate. It's going to hurt my relations, but we can start making our way. Oh, I'll take the lightning launcher here. Yeah, I'll grab that lightning launcher. I'm going to start making our way down here to the southwest. We have another hero looking to join us. I'm going to go ahead and take Seska the Laser Mancer and have him sit in the city, and have the Serpion as well as this infantry unit start making their way to join this army together. We're kind of building up our 3rd army right now. So we have the energy exploitation online. This energy exploitation is giving us, there's a way to tell, it's right here, energy exploitation. We're getting 15 energy from it, as well as we'll be able to upgrade it once we have a little bit more science research. So I would like to get another, I think maybe we'll get a Lucid Overseer that has all these buffs. And that would be the 5th unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be another army. And then we have room for another unit. I think we'll take a Guild Assassin as well. So we'll get an Overseer and a Guild Assassin. And once this Serpion that I have down here and this unit here kind of makes it over to this city, we'll have another army to start roaming around and clearing out more of the map. Melvor has built the happiness dome, and I'm focusing on food and happiness right now, because I want those happiness events. Like right here we got 50 science from a happiness event, and right here we got 113 production from a happiness event. So I feel like happiness events are really, really powerful. That's why I like to focus on growth and happiness, so that I can expand and grab as many territories as possible. It's also probably a good idea to start building another army, but I think I'll do that in my capital, because my capital is much better at building units, and so we'll focus on having a really good defense in here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab suppressor defense towers, because they don't take any upkeep to maintain, and they'll make it so that this city itself is a bit more protected. So I could take an autonom sentinel, or I could increase my reputation. I'm going to take the reputation boost, because having a high reputation can be quite powerful. People with high reputation will like you more, and people with low reputation will like you less. We just got the research for the Echo Walker program. Now we have access to the Echo Walker and the Void Blades equipment. Echo Walkers are really, really powerful. I think I showed them off before. They have the Quantum Echo ability, which allows them to essentially duplicate themselves and double the amount of power that they represent on the battlefield. I like the idea of coming over here and picking up some of the vortex charges and time warps, but it would also be pretty good if I could make my way up to some of these higher tier techs, but they're kind of a bit far away. So I'll take up the vortex instability, then I'll probably grab electron impact. Do I want electron impact or do I want arc impact? You know what? I really like the idea of getting the ionic detachment here. This allows arc damage to stagger. Now that seems like a really, really powerful thing to grab. Staggers are really, really useful. We also completed Quantum Gain, which gives us access to another doctrine. We'll go ahead and plug in that extra doctrine in a second here. I definitely want to pick up energy development and research development. I'm going to pick up research development first because my capital city that would build the energy development is a little bit busy. And the secondary city that I settled has room for research. And the more research I get, the better. This is a really handy thing. We have these guys heading down over here, and we found a recharge station that allows them to essentially double their movement. And along the way, I may as well take out these guys, because this will be a pretty easy battle. We'll auto-combat it. It looks like we did, in fact, lose a unit, so I'm going to retry that battle. Looks like we are up against some Vanguard units, as well as some trenchers. Now, these Vanguard units have what looks to be the interlocking armor that gives them stagger resistance and physical damage resistance, as well as the flechette ammunition that allows them to inflict bleed. These guys are overwatched right now, but they only have one overwatch shot because they've walked so much. So we should be able to do quite a significant amount of damage. And I'll move my hero up very far to the front line because he'll be able to do his own overwatch to prevent this assault bike from really approaching. You can see his overwatch fire means the assault bike will have to come all the way back around through here to actually get an angle of attack on me. I'm going to also duplicate my echo walkers right there so that we have 2 units on the left side here that'll be able to rush up and maybe take out this bike, and I'll bring my sniper into bear on these guys over here in the next turn or two. I'll also bring the soldiers over here. Sorry, not snipers. These are the Paragon soldiers that I have. I'll have my Overseer also accompany this guy over here as well, because I want the Overseer to be in position to provide the Cerebral Overdrive that allows them to attack twice. And then I'll have this other indentured unit flank hard on the left side so that they can be in position to assist in any combat that happens. Looks like we did take the Overwatch shot there on the bike as it approached, as well as another Overwatch from the melee unit. This guy is going to approach to take shots at me. He'll only get 2 shots, which is not too bad. Looks like they're coming forward as well to take more shots. Looks like this guy might be the one to die, which I'm not too worried about. Trencher shot as well. Took 14 damage. Very good. So I'm going to have these guys approach for the strike. There we go. Dimensional instability. And then these guys are going to try to finish them off from the flanking position. And there we are, flanked and killed. I'm going to have my indentured very slowly approach in defense mode. My hero has what looks to be 3 really good shots on these guys. So let's go ahead and take those. They are entrenched, so they'll have an easy time dodging and resisting damage. But it looks like we did manage to get a really good attack on them. And these guys are actually pretty much in the open for these exploiters because they do have the exploitative targeting modules. Let's go ahead and hammer them with a tank. There we are. We took off a decent chunk of their health. And I'm kind of tempted to move forward here, but I'm going to take the 50% chance shots, and we crit. That's beautiful. That's perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my Overseers forward. I'm going to do a Cerebral Overdrive on the Override. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Cerebral Override on these guys. And then I should be able to move them up into a position that'll be helpful towards these Devar units next turn. So I have no line of sight this turn. But if they move out of this position, I will get Overwatch on them. Ooh, they came over here to try to shoot my Paragon units. It looks like they threw a grenade at me, and my unstable sort of summoned units died, which is fine. Let's go ahead and take the triple shot here. Should be a pretty easy kill with the static charge. And then I should be able to run in with my dimensional instability units, the Echo Walkers, to finish those off. And then this Devar unit, I should be able to finish this with my Paragon units, actually, as long as they don't miss 2 of their shots. And there we go, we got the 2 hits, we finished them off, we won the battle, and we kept everyone alive, which is exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to keep everyone alive. I want to try to minimize the amount of units that we lose, because, you know, replacing units is expensive. There's only a limited amount of, you know, resources I have on the map. Now, I do need to be careful, because I believe this map sector actually prevents, because of this Void Storm, it actually prevents strategic map health regeneration. So I'm going to step my unit out of this tile for the end of the turn so that my units will start to recover, especially these guys who are pretty damn hurt. They're currently only regenerating 6 health per turn, so I want to minimize how much time I spend inside this. I might even make an effort to walk all the way around if I can. Looks like I've discovered another player. I'm going to remain concealed. I want to avoid meeting people for the early game so I can better plan my moves against them. Looks like we got another happiness event over here, plus 50 science. That's perfect. That means research development has been completed, which means if I come into Melvor here, I'll be able to build the research center. I think This city might be a bit more of an economic city. It's not in an amazing position to do much else. So I'm going to go ahead and, because I mean, I guess it could be a productive city, but I think I'm going to prioritize getting society research nice and strong here. So I'll go ahead and take the Society Research Center. That'll take 4 turns after we've completed the defense towers. I also want to do this anomaly site here, the, the archaeology thing. But first I want to take care of this quest, the pirate hideout. Looks like the Forgotten have another quest for me. They want me to research, reframe cultural mindsets. This will be worth quite a bit of energy and production. I'm going to go ahead and accept that because I'm currently friendly with this faction. If I can remember where their faction headquarters is, I believe it's over here. If I go and talk to them, we can see here, I can buy quite a lot of cool stuff here. Let's see here. The Forgotten guide your researchers how to better excavate. Each knowledge sector now provides an extra 10 additional research, which is pretty powerful. I'm probably not going to pick that up right now, but there's definitely stuff like this unit not affected by more entropic energy, don't spend essence. Looks like these guys are pretty good with essence charges. We've also got this non-melee entropy attacks now bypass shields. Oh, that's very cool. And a 20% damage increase. This is a tier 2 module. I might look to buy some of these things, but for now, we're going to kind of just play it safe. I want to save all my diplomatic influence to grab as many of these neutral places that I need as possible. Like I said with this army, I want to try to avoid walking through this sector that reduces health regeneration because I need these Paragon units to start getting their health back in order for them to be useful in the long term. There's Electron Impact. We just unlocked Arc Retaliation Defense, which means that if we put this on a unit, it means they'll have extra arc resistance and anyone who attacks them has a chance of getting stunned. We also get Arc Manifold, which strikes a random enemy unit, dealing 10 damage with a strength of 8 of causing electrified, and it acts at the start of each enemy turn for 5 turns. This is actually a really powerful one to cast if you think a battle's going to go for a long time. We're going to go ahead and pick up Ionic Detachment here because we want the Arc Impact module so that our basic units can inflict stagger with their basic attack. Now that we have assembled this third army, we're going to go ahead and try to take on these piggies. We do have 2 units that we haven't really used before, the Serpion, as well as this hero that needs to be leveled up. Now, right now, he is using, let's see here, Fallout Protocol. So it looks like this is some sort of Pyromancer type hero. I'm going to go ahead and give him... I had a piece of equipment here that I wanted to give him, and I don't know where it's gone. We've got the Pulse Repeater versus the Laser Shotgun. I don't like shotguns, personally speaking, so I'm going to go ahead and give them the Pulse Repeater. Although they do have a laser mod here that ignores armor and have a 12% chance to inflict charge. So I think I'll actually keep that. Change my mind. I'll keep that. And instead what we'll do is we'll give them some Vitality. We'll also give them Range Specialist as well as Steady Aim, so they have better attack firing from cover. And it looks like most of these units are skirmishers, not infantry. Do they count as infantry is the question? No, they're heavy units. So I suppose what we'll do is we'll take Deadeye as well as Strategic Operation. No. I guess what we'll do is we'll take another stack of Vitality so that we can play much more aggressive with this hero. I'm also going to give them the Phase Walk Modulator so they're 15% harder to hit, as well as being able to walk through cover, which will be really, really helpful. And let's see, Arc Retaliation Defense. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Arc Retaliation Defense here. Well, is that really that good versus the Exploitative? I mean, 20% accuracy is really, really powerful. But this hero is much more powerful now, and we'll go ahead and begin this battle. I'll auto-combat to see if anyone dies. It looks like no one died, so we don't need to actually fight this battle. I'm going to try to avoid fighting too many battles, because I feel like it kind of slows the game down a little bit when you can just quite as easily kind of auto-combat them. And again, over here, this is the mission. We'll auto-combat. I expect someone will die here. Nope. Looks like we survived, and we got some level ups. So we'll take that. There's the battle 1. We could take the Lightning Sniper, or we could sell it. I'm going to take the reward, because the Lightning Sniper opens up options. Now we also have Displacement Systems. This is a Tier 3 defense mod that creates an image of the unit, making it seem as if it's a small distance for 25% defense, essentially. Makes it 25% harder to hit, which is actually a huge amount of defense. And it gives it +2 ranged armor. So I'm going to go ahead and take those rewards. Then we'll come back over here and do this archaeology with this hero. Although, is this hero the one that I gave the archaeology skill? No, it's not. He's only a level 1 hero, so we're not too worried about that yet. Like I said over here, I'm very carefully navigating towards this city. Looks like it's a Vanguard city, which is... yeah, I guess I'll take the Vanguard city. 2 turns until my capital grows. I have some options here. I would like to get the diplomatic analysis wing. I also want the Cosmite Research Center because that opens up some options for me. So I'm going to do that. Now I am a little bit light on energy, which means I do need to get this energy exploitation up. So I think what I'll do is I'll finish energy development and then come back and finish that quest mission. I have enough time for that. Yeah, I think I do. I'm going to go ahead and remain concealed. I want to remain concealed for as long as possible because I want to avoid alerting the AI to my presence. It's actually not a terrible spot for a city. Especially if we kind of spread out very carefully. We should be able to claim the dwelling of the Heritors, I forget what they're called, as well as potentially the Vault of the Lost over here. And I think that seems like a pretty reason. There's also like a bunch of Cosmite in the area, as well as a broadcast station. So this looks actually a pretty damn good area to stay, because we're within, like, we can easily claim this Cosmite right here. Although we would have to get rid of that anomaly, and we can easily claim that Cosmite right there. Although Melvor could potentially do that. But I kind of wanted them to expand up to the north a bit to grab the Space-Time Research Park, which is something we'll be working on with this army once this archaeology department and this Cosmite node are cleared. So we're going to break through the ice with this army. So I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and turn this settlement into a colony. The Forgotten will be a little bit upset with that because I'm settling a city right on their border, but eventually they'll be sort of part of my empire. That's the goal anyway. And it looks like the Scyfish have a mission for me. Now, currently, I'm in relatively good standing with the Scyfish. I'm going to go ahead and accept this mission because it has the potential to get me some more rewards. We have plenty of ops to prime. We also have the ability to put in another doctrine, so that's going to be the big thing that we work on right now. I really like the technologist here, but I don't have the income to support it because it usually means you kind of play much more heavily defensively in your battles and kind of use a lot more tactical operations. I could take Echo Protocols that would give each slot in my colonies plus one of their prospective resource, which is really valuable long term. Or I could take the technologist to sort of make a more energy efficient economy in battle. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take the technologist here, even though Echo Protocol is really, really good. And now my capital is ready to annex another sector. I would really like another energy sector. And this is a really, really powerful energy sector. It doesn't have the... It only has +1 bonus levels, but we should be able to level that up in the long term. So I'm going to go ahead and annex this because it has 2 buildings that'll give me extra energy. And energy is like my biggest weakness right now. So we'll go ahead and get to work on that. And then I'll start clearing out some of this stuff with these guys here. This should be a pretty easy battle. I'll auto-combat it. And there we go. We cleared it out without any problems. We picked up a bit of production, which will finish that diplomatic wing a little bit sooner. I'm going to have these guys hang around in this area to defend this city until it at least has its basic defensive structure online. The very first thing we'll do in this new Vanguard city is start the standard military infrastructure. It'll take about 3 turns. But that'll give me an opportunity to rest and recuperate with these guys. We just picked up Energy Development 1, which allows us to upgrade energy sectors as well as build new energy sector buildings. So I think that's one of the things that I wanted to do in my capital was I would especially like to get the energy efficient assembly line, which is going to not only allow my units to be cheaper to produce, but also allow them to have lower upkeep once they are produced. So I think that's something I want to pick up here. So I'm going to pick up energy efficient assembly line. I'm going to increase my energy exploitation, and I'm going to do an energy sector upgrade. And then when this energy sector upgrade is finished, we'll go ahead and exploit the second one because I want to get my energy income up right now. Looks like the Forgotten are making a demand. I'm going to accept the demand for Cosmite. Because I'm making 10 per turn now, which means any demands for Cosmite are a little bit less difficult to sort of meet. There's another city in the Fog of War over here to the east, so I'm going to start making my way over there to see if I can meet them and maybe get them to join my empire. In terms of society research, I'm going to come back and research this mission technology for the A Right to Die. It'll take 2 turns and it will net us quite a bit of energy and production, as well as some standing with the faction that issued the mission. So it looks like Nicole Crustus of the Vanguard. I'm going to say nice to meet you. I think they had a proposal here. So it looks like the Amazon want a non-aggression pact. I'm going to go ahead and accept that because I want to try to minimize the number of people I have to go to war with, at least in the early game. Looks like this guy is leveled up. I think I'm going to take Archaeology Adept and Steady Aim here. Now he's using the Shield Breacher rifle, and I'd also like to give him some basic upgrades. So let's do the first thing first, a Steady Aim. and archaeology adept, so he's a little bit better at exploring things. Then we'll also go ahead and I think I'll give him this displacement system to make him a little bit harder to hit, which means I don't have to give him the phase walker module, and instead I can focus on giving him the exploitative targeting module, as well as the sci-tech vision enhancers, which is going to make him very, very accurate on the offense. So it looks like the assembly want to pay me for all the casus bellis I have on them. This would be pretty good. I'm going to take this money because I don't plan to go to war with them. We also finished reframing cultural mindsets, which allows us to take the rewards. And we have finished this. We actually picked up aquatic development here, as well as some knowledge. So I'm going to accept that reward. And it looks like delving deeper into the Forgotten Ruins. So I could try to complete the thingy here with a 50% chance to piece together some of the prototypes. Or I could clear up the quarry. I'm gonna go ahead and take the gamble to try to make the prototype. Looks like we picked up aquatic deployment, which is perfect. Because that means we don't have to research it anymore. And I think I'm gonna pick up environmental conditioning here. I don't need food development right now, but environmental conditioning will allow me to start removing things like these dangerous hazards and anomalies. So let's make friends with these Devar. Looks like they want 68 influence to make them join my empire. I'm gonna turn them into a colonizer. And ideally, I want to settle somewhere near this precision manufacturing, but a little bit closer to this tiny bubbles luxury site. So let's see, where would that be? I think it'll be one step down. So let's see what's in here. Looks like this is a Plague Lord nest. That's going to be a pain in the ass to do. So can I upgrade these Serpions at all? Probably going to have to wait a couple of turns to get the modules and upgrades to really take that on in a meaningful fashion. Melvor is about to be under attack, but this city has pretty good defenses right now, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's go ahead and upgrade our research sectors. That way we get a little bit more research out of them. We're a little bit light on research right now, so that's something we're working on. I also need to get this Cosmite on lockdown. Let's auto-combat and see what happens. Looks like we won by the skin of our teeth, and this is all militia units, so we don't need to refight that battle. The only thing that matters is that we won. The Psyfish are demanding money. I'm going to go ahead and give them money, because I don't want them to go to war with me. If I can at all avoid that, then I will. So the Psyfish are melee units. That is something to keep in mind. They have relatively low range, so I'm going to give them the Arc Retaliation defense, which gives them +1 range defense, as well as the ability to hurt people who attack them. So I'll go ahead and give you that, and I guess I may as well give you the Arc Retaliation defense as well. We've got these two Serpions getting upgraded, and that'll be maybe enough of an upgrade to take these guys on. Melvor has finished its upgrade. I think it's ready to annex another sector, and I think I really want this diplomatic wing inside my territory, so I'm going to annex that for Melvor. Is that what I want to do? You know what I might do instead? I'm going to come here. Energy has been a bit of a problem for me, so I'm going to annex this for Melvor. It's going to hurt my relationship with the Paragon. Again, but that's okay. We're constantly doing missions for them, keeping their friendship nice and high. And then in the meantime, I'm going to go up to level 2 defensive infrastructure in here, because the city is starting to spread quite a bit, and we want a lot of defensive units in here. Then we also got another happiness event in Melvor. That's why I really, really like when I'm managing my cities. I like focusing on food and happiness, so that we get those happiness events and the cities grow really quickly. Okay, so let's go ahead and kick these guys off this place for 27 diplomatic influence, and that'll net us an extra 5 Cosmite per turn, as well as 8 Cosmite straight up. Now, I'm going to clean up these plague units here. They've got 700 defense power. Let's see if anyone dies. Nope. Looks like it was a pretty clean kill. One of our Serpions took a lot of damage, but that's not a big deal. They should heal up relatively quickly. Although not nearly quickly enough. Is there a way I can make this guy heal faster? I don't think so. I might have to choose another location for the settlement. And I guess moving it one tile over here to this food sector. But this is like really the ideal spot, if I'm being totally honest. So I might just hang on here and delay the city a little. The Forgotten are demanding more food. Because again, I settled beside them. So I'll go ahead, or more money. So I'll accept this again. And these guys want me to... They also want me to destroy this. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that challenge. Melvor has an unexploited sector. I think we're going to go ahead and do an energy sector in here. Again, I want to get my energy up, because energy is what you use to use your ops. And I like to play a very op-heavy type of gameplay style where I use a lot of ops and missions and I use a lot of energy to make a large army. We've got ourselves another archaeology site over here, as well as Hestabur can claim another sector. Well, it's actually its first sector. So where do I want to claim? The city is probably going to be productive. So I think claiming this as a food sector will do two things. It'll hurt my relationship with the Forgotten, which is fine. But more importantly, it'll potentially set me up for linking up my territories with roads in the near future. It'll kind of, by having my territories connected, I have a better, vision game. I can more easily defend my borders and all that sort of stuff. I will just take the time to do the anomalous side here, excavate the sand, maybe pick up some rewards from that. All right, capital city, time to get the optimization control agency. That's going to give me a little bit of energy. More importantly, it's going to set me up for long-term economic success here. Once that's finished, I think it's time to start building our next army. I think I would like to use some Echo Walkers, but I'm going to just do a pair of probably do a pair of indentured, so I'll get to work on this. I'm going to wait until this is finished before I start doing any of that shenanigans. But I am going to need another army. Environmental conditioning is finished. This allows us to do the hazard removal, as well as getting extra food on rivers, and we're also able to build the botanical gardens, which is a way to get extra happiness in our colonies when they reach a certain size. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and pick up another research. I think it would be pretty good to pick up maybe the food development, or maybe start working on some covert ops stuff. There's also anthropological research, the orbital relay. I also like getting transit infrastructure pretty early because that makes my roads much better. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pick up accelerated force development. This allows me to essentially move across the map much easier. So we'll pick that up and our units will essentially have more movement points. Looks like they're demanding more cosmite again. Because I keep taking diplomatic actions like annexing territory near them, they're getting a little bit wary of me, so they're always making demands of me. So Hestabur has another unexploited territory. I think I'll make this one a food sector. I don't have a food colony in my empire yet, so having this city set up to maybe generate a bit of food for me. This isn't ideal terrain for food by any stretch of the imagination, but it should be good enough. Right, so I have 7 tactical operation points here. I'm going to go ahead and attack these guys, but I'm going to have this Serpion essentially play defense. Because if I auto-combat this, I'll lose a ton of units. But if I retry this and fight it myself and play very defensively, I should be able to use a ton of these tactical operations to bring the fight into my favor. So this Serpion is basically going to immediately retreat because it's too low health to really be of much use. And then we're also going to be set up in very, very defensive formations. Now I need to be set up very carefully. I'm going to take breach rounds on you. But like I said, I'm going to be playing exceptionally defensively here, making copious use of Overwatch and defensive posture to make sure that I don't get any super bad outcomes here. So we'll go ahead and let them have their act. Looks like they're buffing each other. That's fine. It's the kind of things I want to see. Looks like we took some graze damage. They did trigger our Overwatch. So I want to get a heal on these guys if I can. First thing we're going to do is perhaps an arc discharge here. It's really not that much damage. What else could I do? I could do arc manifold. The earlier I cast arc manifold, the better. So I'm going to cast it right now. So every turn, they'll take a 10 damage attack from the sky, essentially. I'm going to try to stagger this guy because he's within range to do serious damage to me. There we go. We got the stagger. I'm going to move you 1 tile to the right, I think, to make room for the Overseer here, who's going to come in and give you a heal. Like so. And then we'll put an Overwatch right on their tile so that if either of these guys even attempt to act, they're in bad shape. I'm going to move my Serpion forward to try and bait these guys into fighting. And then I'll do the Stinger attack like that. So they got the energy drain and we did a significant amount of damage. And the Serpion is pretty tanky, so he should have a pretty easy time preventing any negative stuff happening. He took a pretty bad hit there, but that's not the end of the world. There we go. We got the Overwatch. Didn't quite do as much, but the stagger did go off. Okay, I just need this to not kill. There's the electrified. So now the big thing is I need to kill this pig as soon as possible. So we're going to flank an Overwatch, hit him. There we go. Okay, my Serpion is dying. Okay, that's actually really, really bad. Let's take the Char shotgun hit there. And since this guy is so close to death, I could retreat him, but I'm going to go all in here to try to save as many of my units as possible. So we'll do a cerebral override. If we can get this guy killed, we only need 2 hits. There we go. We're going to move the sniper forward here to take a stagger shot on these guys. Perfect. And then we'll also do an arc discharge to try and stagger again. There we go. So we got the double stagger. So they'll only have 1 attack ideally. Unfortunately, they do have that acidic bile spit, which does a lot of damage from range. So I just need this not to get a kill. Beautiful. So one of our units died, which is unfortunate. And I'm going to go ahead and retreat these guys out of the battle now. So they survive. There we go. We have 2 more units to take care of. We lost 1. And I kind of expected to lose at least 1 unit. I didn't think I was going to be able to save everyone. I was kind of hoping that I could, but wishful thinking and all that. Let's go ahead and take the 3 shots here. Okay, we missed with 2. Let's move the shotgunner forward to finish that off. There we go. And we'll use the sniper to go ahead and take a shot at the Plague Lord, who is our sort of #1 threat right now. So Arc Manifold is already going. We're going to go ahead and do an Arc Discharge here, just for the extra little chunk of damage. I think I'll be able to kill him next turn anyway. Okay, this is a little bit awkward. Can I kill the Plague Lord this turn? If I step here, I take the shot. I have an 88% chance to hit. So he's burning. I'm going to take the stagger shot on this guy. Like so. I'm going to use the shotgun to finish off this Plague Lord. And then I'm going to do another Arc Discharge here, hoping for another stagger, so this guy can't do anything next turn. And then I'm under no threat whatsoever. There we go. He took a whole bunch of damage. Very happy with that. And let's go ahead and finish him off. So, we took a pretty bad battle. We only lost 1 Serpion. Despite the fact that it was like a pretty hard battle considering our units were hurt. And it was essentially a 5v4. So we lost a Serpion. It's not the end of the world. More importantly, we'll take our rewards, and that also means that we can bring our colonizer over here and found a new colony here, and then rejoin our armies together. In other news, this guy also leveled up, which is pretty useful. And I think I'm going to go ahead and take Shield Battery, because that'll give every unit in the army +1 ranged armor. I have a couple of quests that I need to take care of. I think I'm going to go ahead... Well, this is the Scyfish quest, right? Oh, I completely forgot to finish my archaeology mission here. I'm going to go ahead and accept that reward. This becomes an abandoned quarry. So we failed. So I get Cosmite, Science, Production, and an abandoned quarry here. So that's pretty good. The abandoned quarry is nice because it gives extra production. And this is potentially a production sector. So that's pretty helpful. We just picked up Ionic Detachment, which gives us the Arc Impact module, which means all of our arc attacks have the ability to stagger now, which is really, really powerful. Stagger is like one of the best things you can inflict with an attack. The question is, do we go even deeper into arc attacks to pick up the stun module, which allows our arc attacks to stun? It also gives us 30% damage, as well as the arc extension module, which allows arc weapons to jump from target to target, dealing half damage. This feels like it's really, really powerful, so I'm actually going to rush it down, because these are like some of the best modules in our tech tree. It's only 1 away from the positron technology, and it's going to make our basic core infantry units extremely powerful, even if they're quite expensive. It looks like this hero Romulo has leveled up, and I'm not sure what abilities I want to take on him. Let's see, he has the Shield Breacher Rifle, so I'm going to go for Ranged Specialist and Deadeye. That'll give him a higher chance, more damage, as well as a higher chance to hit and crit. So just overall increasing his average damage when he attacks. The Scyfish are giving me another mission. I'm going to go ahead and accept that. So here's another colony, and we're going to do the same thing that we did in the other one. We're going to go ahead and pick up the Central Replicator Factory and the standard military infrastructure, and we're going to keep this army in place to defend it while we wait for those to go through. And I'm kind of tempted even to pick up a trencher here and maybe purchase him, although I'm not in a rush to get the trencher. I want to wait until the city is able to defend itself before I move out. Go ahead and take on these guys here because they're just being annoying. We'll go ahead and auto-combat that. There should be no losses, and we did get a couple of level ups. And now we can start looking at maybe implementing the Arc Impact module on these guys, which will give them a chance to stagger with their attacks, and also just generally make their attacks more powerful. You can see here, they do 11 damage 3 times, and if I give them the Arc Impact module, they do 13 damage 3 times, which is a significant power upgrade, as well as the ability to stagger on their attacks. And I can't stress how good stagger is, especially early game. So I think I'm going to go ahead and give each of these guys the Arc Impact module. We'll start retooling some of this stuff later on, though. Especially, like, when you consider these guys now stagger and they reduce the armor of the unit they're attacking. Like, that's extremely powerful. The pulse sniper, on the other hand, it already staggers. So if I were to give it stagger, it doesn't really seem like much. It has massive impact stagger. Sorry, the basic one has high impact stagger, but I could give it massive impact stagger, which means it overrides stagger resistance. But I think this guy is much better with something that makes them sort of do more damage more reliably. Like, accuracy is way better on these guys, I feel like. I don't know, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those, but I'm pretty happy with this setup for now. Looks like my capital has completed its constructions. Let's have a look here. I could get the diplomatic analysis wing. I'm pretty good on influence right now. It might be time to start building another army. I was talking about that earlier. So I might get a couple of thunderings, and I also want an overseer. The question is this the overseer that I want? This is the fire-based overseer, which is still pretty good. I also could do stuff with enforces. I really like ranged units, so I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get two thundering... I'm going to get a thundering indentured as the start of this army. Now, Melvor, on the other hand, has annexed another sector. It's an energy sector. I'm going to go ahead and take the optimization control agency, because that'll give me more energy from my colonists. I'm not working them in here just yet, but I will be soon in the not too distant future. And I'll pick that up as well as an energy sector upgrade. I think I'll do the energy sector upgrade first, because that's actually going to result in a significant amount of extra energy. If we go in here and we have a look here, you can see the energy exploitation. It's +5 for level, so that's worth about 5 income per turn for the rest of the game, which is really, really powerful. We actually picked up... This is how powerful these happiness events are. We picked up an extra 276 energy from a happiness event here, just because I'm focusing on this. That's why I really, really like to focus on this. It's kind of RNG what you get, but I think it ends up kind of working out in the end. You get a bit of everything pretty regularly. Looks like we are under attack here in a militia area. I'm going to auto-combat that, and it looks like we cleared it up pretty easily, so that's pretty good. That's why we build lots of defensive units. And it looks like we got another hero. This is a Vanguard level 5 hero. I'm going to go ahead and recruit them. This is why I started building another army, because I want to have this army sort of take over. I'm going to get another thundering indentured. I'll just slowly build up this army, and then these guys will probably start taking out some of the stuff here to the northwest. Looks like an anomalous site. We got a bit of science out of that. Now I could do this. Massive penguin poker tail. I have already won. Phase distort the game. Alright, I'm going to phase distort the game, and I got a black egg. So this is a tier 2 defense module that allows me to spawn an ethereal penguin adjacent to the hero that can be used once per battle. That's actually a pretty cool idea. We also got the lucky gambler. So this hero, they're 20% harder to hit, so that's a boost to this hero right here, the expedition leader. And we got a bunch of science. I'm going to go ahead and accept those rewards. This guy is now just way better because he has the lucky gambler trait, which makes him way harder to hit. The question, do I want the tactical AED assistant or do I want the black egg? I like the idea of getting an ethereal penguin, so I'm going to go ahead and switch that out. My hero also leveled up, so I can do a lot of really cool stuff here. I like the idea of getting archaeology research. It allows me to do more archaeology. I also like the idea of the escape module that allows my hero to survive essentially a fatal hit. I like shield battery because it gives my units defense. I like things that buff my entire army because it allows me to sort of increase the total power level of the entire army with a single upgrade. And then we'll probably send this guy up here to start clearing out some of this nonsense, because we are started running out of time to do some of these. Speaking of running out of time, we've got 2 turns left on this mission over here, so we'll get to work on taking that out. But I think we've done quite a lot this episode. We've managed to expand our empire. We grabbed 2 new cities from the neutral sort of city locations. We've expanded our territory. We've massively increased our economy. We've also continued to work on our relationship with the Forgotten here. And I'm starting to get to a point now where I might even start to buy some of these things, like for example, the Forgotten Depths here would give me extra science from all my science thingies. Now, this is a doctrine operation that I'll have to activate, but I'll probably research more doctrines in the not too distant future. Like I've got a doctrine over here that I can pick up. I've got doctrines over, let me see. I've got doctrines over here I can pick up. So there's plenty of options here that I can swap things in and out for extra science. But yeah, like I said, that's going to be it for the end of the episode. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!